Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Christy Vann with Fantastic Finances, and on this channel, I teach velocity banking. But today, we're going to have a whole conversation about velocity banking 202. What does that mean? Well, 101 is kind of used and abused, so I'm going to go with 202, and let's talk about what the idea behind velocity banking is. When we say the word velocity, we're talking about speed, right? So velocity banking, you're speed banking. I'm not sure that that makes a lot of sense. So I changed it to fantastic banking because it makes more sense to me that way. But what we're doing when we are talking about velocity banking is we're talking about this checking account that we currently use and that we've been taught to use is now kind of, we still use it, we bypass it, but I only use currently my HELOC. Now, some of you guys that don't know what a HELOC is, you can go back to previous videos and I talk all about this HELOC, home equity line of credit. Don't get them confused that the equity loan and a second mortgage, I guess that it could be called, and the HELOC are two different things. Even though this is home equity, we've got two different products that we're using here. And this meaning that a loan, which we hear a lot about, this is what we're taught to use. Anytime you hear anybody talking about buying something, they'll say, well, how about if we just get a loan for that? Well, a loan is nothing but money that the bank takes and puts in your checking account. Okay, so if you get a $50,000 loan or a $550,000 loan, they immediately take the loan money, put it into your account, and now you have payments. So every month you're going to make the same payment. Now, with this loan, it is closed end, and that means that your money goes in. So if these are $50 payments per month, and I am just playing with numbers, so we're not going to get 50,000 for 50. But if this is a loan, then you'll make $50 every single month for your payment due. Okay, this $50 or whatever your payment is going to last until whatever amount is paid in full. Okay, another thing is once your money goes in to the loan, you cannot even think about saying, hey, wait a minute, I need that money back. I need that money back. Can I take $50 back out? They'll be like, no way. No, you can't do that. What's the difference now with this line of credit? The line of credit is open-ended. Okay, so that means that when you're approved for the line, and let's say it's 50,000, it sits here. They don't necessarily throw it into your account. But because it's revolving, and that means you are and may have minimum payments set up, but they won't charge you anything if you're not using it. I've seen people show me their loan papers on a line of credit, and the line will say, your payment's going to be $286. Well, if it says that, that means if you take and use the whole $50,000. If you don't use it, it just sits here open. So meaning that if this is a $50,000 line of credit, then you're totally able to let it sit there with zero balance, or you can transfer over to your checking account, how much ever you need. Do you need 25,000? Okay, then you can put 25,000 into this checking account. Okay, so the difference now is you have your loan, meaning once your payment goes in, we're not getting it back out. You have your line that sits here available for you to use if you want to or not. You can transfer over any amount, but this does not charge payments or interest rates until you use it. So if it can be anywhere, like I've seen 5% on these HELOCs. I've seen 10%. It depends on the bank. If it's 10% right now, you've got a crazy bank, okay, because they're not that high. The interest will be applied to whatever amount you're using, and it's calculated on the average daily balance. So you are going to be able to use this account in a way that's more convenient for you. That's not all this one does. This one, if you have 25,000 out and they decide to go ahead and let you have it at 5%, they're going to charge you whatever your average daily balance is here. And let's say that payment is $200. So they're saying, hey, you owe $200 in interest this month. So you take 200 and you put it in the account. Now, this being revolving, meaning you still have 25,000 in here, right? Because you only took out 25. You can borrow more from yourself. Where this works with velocity banking is if I get paid, let's say I make $1,000. What is it doing while it's sitting in here? What's your $1,000 doing while it's sitting in the checking? Nothing. It's just sitting there, not serving you at all until you decide, okay, well, I got to pay my water bill. I got to pay my electric bill. I got to pay my phone bill. I got to buy some food. I have to pay my car insurance. I have to buy some gas. Well, this is depleting, right? It's just going down to zero. Now you feel like that you're broke until you get paid again. That's what the checking account literally makes you feel like, is like you see the money, but it just keeps going down to where you're like, I just got paid yesterday. Where's the money? Well, it's thrown all over the place. With the line of credit, and when you have an account, you know, whether it's got 25, 50,000, maybe it only has 5,000, but you take on this 25,000 balance, because we took it out, you say, hey, I'm not going to leave my checking sitting in here. I'm going to transfer it into my line of credit. So now 1,000 is in here, which means you only owe 24,000 this a day on this balance. What happened to this $200 that was due when I put my $1,000 in there? Well, it was satisfied. So I officially don't owe this now because I have satisfied the amount they asked for when I put my money in there. But you're like, wait a minute, what are you going to live off of? Because you put all of your paycheck into here. You're going to be able to pull it right back out and pay your expenses. So here we go. You need $200 because you went to the grocery store. 200 out, 200 added back. You need $50 because you went to the gas station. Does that make sense? So you don't spend all of this in one day. You don't pay all of your bills in one day. So that means that this account gets to stay lower balance wise, which means that every day it stays lower. You're paying less interest than you would have if you were letting it sit at the maximum. Now, when you're talking about the loan and it's a $50 payment, for example, like I was showing here, does $50 go to the actual balance that you owe? No. This $50 has principal and interest already calculated. So in this example, you may, depending upon your interest, you may have 25 going to principal, meaning principal is the amount that you borrowed. And then you may have 25 going to interest only. Okay, so the difference again, the $50 goes in, you can't withdraw it again. It's in the loan until you refinance this loan. That's a whole nother story about how expensive. Your payment is broken down. So even though you put in 50, you maybe only have 25 that actually came off of your principal. If you're dealing with a mortgage and you have a $2,000 payment, depending upon your interest, you may be paying as much as $1,900 of that out in interest only. That's why that you feel like you look at these loans after you've had them for a year and you're like, I've been paying on this thing for a whole year. What's going on? The balance hasn't come down at all, hardly. It's because of this right here, your interest. So when, and this is a mess, I just saw this, but when we're transferring all of our income into this line, it's coming down. And bringing that balance down means that you're going to pay less interest on this day, okay? So I'm constantly using my line of credit. I'm constantly either taking out or putting in. Revolving, that's what they're called, revolving, okay? I hope this makes sense. As messy as this is, I wanted to show you why the velocity in the phrase velocity banking is there, is because we may be putting money into this loan, and if it's $1,000, like I said, if you're in a mortgage, you could have as much as 80% or more going to interest only. What is interest? That is rent that you're paying the bank for letting you use their money. Rent. What happens to rent when you give rent to the guy that's letting you live in the house? Do you get that back? No. Well, do you have anything to show for it? No. Because you're not buying the house, you're renting it. It's what you're doing with your money when you are using the loan. Closed end. Goes in, can't come back out. And a lot of your payment is going to interest. So you are borrowing that money, literally paying rent for it. Now, with the HELOC, again, we're dumping the payment. Whenever we're throwing money into this, we're dumping this payment, your payroll check, into this balance, which is bringing that balance down, not switching it up here, right? They show you how much you have the amount you have due in any given month. Your income goes in, satisfies that. I mean, to me, it's been a game changer. It's just been an absolute game changer. because I was putting money into this right here, the checking, and every week, and it would seem like if I got paid on a Friday, it would seem like by Monday it was gone because we have bills coming out. I didn't even include the payments that you may have. So when your paycheck is getting beat up like this, it's suffocating. You feel like you have no room to move. You have no room to go out tonight on a Saturday night. So you're sitting here in front of a TV or your phone watching videos about getting out of debt. Well, if you get serious about what you're doing right here with Velocity Banking, you will be out partying next week. You will be out attending birthday parties, or you'll be out watching movies, or you'll be doing something with your kids at, one of those jump places. What are they called? Why can't I think what that's called? But Just Jump, is that what it's called here? So the idea is to get you free so that you aren't just sitting at home trying to figure out what you're going to do to get your money straightened out. What are you going to do to pay your bills off? Your search has ended if you will just watch videos and get serious about really finding out how this works, getting your money organized and working for you. Okay? I'm going to go over to the desk and I'm going to answer some questions if you have any. All right? So ask me what you want. Let's see if we can get you free. Okay, so hello, Temple, Florida's in the house. Oh my goodness. It must be so hot and humid down there right now. Oh, I lost my watching my first live from Tony, Alabama. Hello. I worked with a lady that lives in Alabama today. Welcome. I hope you're learning a lot. Las Vegas is in the house. Hello. Hello, Shonda. You're here every time I have a live. Thank you so much. I want to do this so badly. I just don't understand the logistics of getting the HELOC and how to use it to pay my bills. I'm like almost there. Well, I did a really quick run through right there. Hang on, keep watching videos. It gets very clear in your mind. It just takes your mind a minute to switch from, that mindset that we've been in, kind of that training that we've been through, to use our money, to kind of, I don't know, serve the banks. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be like, oh, they're scamming us or they're being mean. I just want to say this. And like I said, I don't want to be rude, but I want to be real. People will tell me, yeah, well, my aunt, my mother, my best friend, they think Velocity Banking is a scam. And I say every time, your mortgage is the scam. If I could get people to understand that your loan is the scam, this is the wisdom that you need to get out of the scam. Okay? And I'm not, like I said, I don't have a problem with banks. We need them. But you need to use the tools that work for you. So if you have anybody Anybody that says anything to you about, oh, it sounds like a scam to me, it sounds too good to be true, tell them to look at their mortgage statement. That's when you don't understand what's going on every single time you make a payment, when they haven't shown you that schedule of what's going on every time you make a payment, then I don't know, it sounds a little fishy. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Okay. Cannot be that difficult since I only have a mortgage and 10,000 on a credit card. Yes, you're getting there. It cannot be that difficult. Let's see if I missed some. We got a lot of people writing in. You don't have to have a HELOC to do this. I've done it with credit cards. Yes, I've paid off $28,000 in loans just using balance transfer. Good, Rich. You're a professional velocity person if you can do that with a credit card. I am so proud of you. You have really been working hard. That is so awesome. So proud of you. Wow. I just love you guys that are really getting free and you're sharing it with other people. That is so important. That is so important. You can do a balance transfer, meaning that I use convenience checks. Goodrich, is that what you do? Or do you use a credit card that is linked to your checking account? How do you do it? Infinite banking, I love. Cat's Eye, I love that name too. Does it really work? Well, it works for me. Okay. I am not a financial advisor. You guys hear me say this a lot. I'm not. I'm just showing you things that I have learned from experience. Okay. It works for me. It's a place where, you know, it's guaranteed growth, guaranteed not to lose it. That's important to me. Because I don't, you know, especially back then, and even today, I don't want to play with my money. I don't want to take a risk and lose money that I don't have to lose by throwing it into a stock market or just putting it in crypto or whatever. I just don't like to play games with money because I have been without it for so long that to me, it's not a joke. It's like, you know, let's adult with our money. So with me, the infinite banking gives me somewhere to put extra money to make sure my children are provided for when I'm gone, and it's growing, right, at compounding interest and paying dividends. I love it. I love it. Chris Noggle and I are getting ready to record some more videos on Monday. And I'm so happy about that because it's so important that people know every aspect of how to use their money. And he's so gracious to do that for me, just so that I can put, you know, that on the channel and give you an idea to see that. Love my book. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Rockin' Robin. I'm glad you're learning. Thank you for that. Love you, sister. What is your recommended amount to start an IBC policy? I started with 10,000. Okay, I took 10,000 out of my line of credit. I put it over there for my premium, and then I just start working it back down again with my income. Okay, so that's the way I still do it, even though I have 6. When they're due, I throw the money into them from the line of credit just so I can do one annual chunk. And then I just let my income go in and work it back down. It's super simple. The money's sitting over there. If I need to use it, I can take a loan for myself. I don't even have to fill out an application. I can just go in the portal and say, hey, can you send me some money over here? And they'll put it in my checking account. So I love it. Yes, a mortgage is a death pledge. Very good. Yes. I'm so excited. Hello from Connecticut. Do you have a bank you would recommend for VA home loans? I love Velocity Banking. I don't use VA home loans. because even though they're at like, I think 4.99% right now, that's still 100% interest. So be careful using products like that. Okay. Make sure you have a plan, a strategy before you get started. Okay. We've got Phoenix in the house. Hello, hello. I've been doing the velocity banking for my 92-year-old mother with credit cards. Paid off $3,000 in debt since April 26. It works. Thank you, Norlene, for sharing that. That is so precious. Lecanto, Florida is in the house. I'm getting a first lien HELOC, no other debt. Once my loan is open, I get my credit card from them. What do I do with my current credit union accounts to keep money available? Marine Vet Mom, you go, Marine. Thank you for serving. Or tell your child I said that. That doesn't make any sense. You're getting the first lien. What do you do with your current credit union accounts to keep money available? I don't know what that means. Can you clear that up just a little bit? Just a little bit. We have got Emily in the house. I'm going to invite Emily in here because I would like to talk to her for you people who cannot get a line of credit. So I'm going to let Emily in if I know I've invited her. Emily, can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Yes, hello.
Hey, so I saw you out there and I'm like, we need to have a conversation for the people that cannot get a line of credit. Let me go through this chat just a minute more because I want to make sure I get everybody's question today. Robin says, yep, my daughter heard that from a coworker just a couple of weeks ago. No scam at all, just learning to use the tools you teach us that are out there. Yes, that's the only thing I'm doing. Please, if you're uncomfortable with anything, do not do anything that you're uncomfortable with. That's so important. But you know what? I have had a lot of fun playing with this because I've gotten to play from the time I started out with just credit cards, like Goodrich is still doing here. And it was a growing, I was like, oh, okay, I can do that with this tool. How about if I try doing this? So I was constantly, you remember when, I don't even know if Plastique is still out or not. But I remember playing with Plastique for a while because you could take a withdrawal from your credit card and they would send it to one of your loans. Not even sure if that's around still or not, but that's what I said. I have played so much with how this works that's what the channel is about. Margaret says the IBC is the only way to go. And I agree when it comes to having a glorified savings anyway. How do you plan assets game when buy, borrow, die doesn't work in my country? Cat's eye, I barely know what the US does here. I can't even tell you what your country would have available. What country are you in? Help, I need to do this right now. You stay in there, nice. Is it Nisi or nice? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I apologize. You can do this right now. Keep watching videos. The videos teach you everything you need to know. Straight balance transfer from my LIEN account from the loan. Straight balance transfer. Not all cards do balance transfers. I opened a BOA card. They gave me 18 months, 0% and a 4% fee for the transfer. That's exactly right, Goodrich. That's kind of the way they seem to move on everything they do credit card wise when you're doing 0%. I do both convenience checks and overdraft protection. Good. With 2 different credit cards. Good. A big bank and a local credit union. Awesome. Anonymous. Daisy says, I have huge debt. Mortgage 198, HELOC 45, and about 50,000 in credit cards. I'm now, Daisy, are we really contemplating bankruptcy with no more debt than you have? I think we need to think about that because you have options. You are not doomed. No, but let's please don't say that. Stay encouraged. I have a great credit score, but a high DTI. Lady, or I hope you're a lady. Your name's Daisy. Please don't. No, no, you're going to be fine. You don't have a lot of debt at all compared to a lot of people that I see. It looks like you've got about 300,000. That is not a lot of debt in today's society. If you have a great credit score, uh, that tells me the high DTI that you've got a lot of payments and you need a line of credit to bring those payments down, give you extra cash flow, and get your debt paid off. That's one thing that I want to talk about, Emily, with you is when people can't get a line of credit or if they don't want to use a line of credit. I've had people that are so stuck in their mind with, oh, that's dangerous. We don't use a line of credit. Okay, you use a loan, but why wouldn't you use a line? Anyway, some people are spenders and they don't need a line of credit available. They might go out and buy a jet ski instead of paying off their car. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do with the line. But yeah, I want to talk about what happens when they, one, can't get approved, or two, they don't want a line of credit. Let's talk about that for a minute. That is why I went out and found what the software can do for people when they maybe have $1 of cash flow. They don't have enough to really get to working down the debt with, cash flow. And this program is the best I've ever seen. I mean, it works. And I'll never forget the day I introduced it to you because you didn't feel comfortable, that you understood velocity banking really good. And I said, well, hey, why don't you try the Money Max? And you were like, what is that? So set you up an appointment and you have been sold on that system from day one. Now, people, I don't use the Money Max for debt and stuff. I just don't. And I'm just going to tell you, my mind doesn't work with computers well. But she absolutely loves the Money Max and she's in it every single day. So, Emily, tell them right quick what a Money Max account is.
Absolutely. So, yes, like she said, I was very unsure about the line of credit game, velocity banking. It seemed very overwhelming. And I would watch the videos and I feel like it just wasn't clicking. And I was kind of scared to take that first step. So when I got introduced to Money Max, I realized that not only could this be approachable, but it could really work for me in the situation I was in. So MoneyMax is a software. It's a website you go to and it's very secure, but it has your game plan on it. So what we do is we take all of your financial information and we input it into this algorithm, this amazing math problem. And what it's going to do is it's going to show us a roadmap on how to get you completely out of debt. It's a guaranteed system. It shows you how quickly you can get out of debt and exactly the steps to take to get there. So if we were to rewind 200 years, no one had a GPS in their car. They didn't even have, cars. So back then you would use maps or you would use mom or grandma's way to get around town or to travel. Now it's common sense to use a GPS to get where you want to go. Even if you know your way around town, maybe it'll show you a shortcut or you'll avoid traffic. The Money Max is the same thing. In 50 years, everyone is going to be using a system that is going to navigate money for them. It's going to advise them on what day to pay certain bills in order to eliminate interest. It's going to advise you on your spending habits. It's going to help you budget. It's going to do all of the things that we're currently doing paper and pen right now. So that's a very nutshell version of the Money Max system.
Well, I mean, and for some people it works. As far as with their mind. So that's why I wanted to invite you in here, because I just think that it's important for people to understand that there is a way for you to get out of debt. And a lot of people, oh my goodness, I think every appointment that I had this week, the people were coming in just defeated. And I'm so tired of seeing people in that state of mind, just like the person that I was talking about here, that I've got so much debt. $300,000, depending upon your cash flow, uh, is not that much to pay off. My clients usually are 65 or 650,000 plus in debt. And we're not talking about large incomes here. We're talking 5 to 7,000 a month. Some of you guys have 10 to 20,000 per month, and you're still feeling like you're just suffocating when it comes to your finances. I am here to tell you that you do not have to stress out about your money anymore. There is a plan somewhere for you, a strategy that is going to help you completely eliminate your debt. And you know what? The wonderful thing about velocity banking for me was the freedom that you feel from the very first day you hear about it. It's like an excitement that I was never able to have before about my money, because I didn't realize it could be so easy. I didn't realize how easy it could be to pay off your debt. And people, I'm not here to sell you anything, guys. Watch a video. If you don't want it, you don't think it's a good idea, then walk away. But I am going to show the options on this channel until they either kick me out or I kick the bucket, because I want everybody to be encouraged with their money and know that there is a way to get you out of debt, to get you free. I think earlier in the live stream, I was telling you guys that were present about the 80-year-old couple, that I was working with today, that feel like that they can't make it. And I'm like, that's not fair, And he said, I wish I would have heard about this years ago when I was working. And I said, bless your heart. Yeah. Because he's retired. He and his wife, they're on Social Security, and they're trying to figure out how to eat. And that makes me so upset that people have struggled all of their life thinking they're doing the right thing because, well, I'm working every day and I'm paying my mortgage payment. Something comes up and you have to refinance it. Here we go again. And here they are at 80 years old and still have a $200,000 mortgage. That's not fair. That's not fair. Not fair.
Mhm.
So show them right quick. Do you have access to your Money Max that you can pull that up and show them what that looks like? Show them what that looks like right quick, just so that, hey, Norlene says that she uses the Money Max for her money management, and I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that, Noreen. There's a lot of people that absolutely love it, and then people like me that I've seen it, I have it, but I'm just not, my mind and computers don't go together. But you show them, Emily, right quick so that they can take a look at that and kind of go over what it does.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So what you see here is the Money Max, okay? So it's going to be a website that you log in with your unique credentials, And this is your home page. You never have to leave this page to be successful with your Money Max. So I come on here every day, every other day, but it only takes 15 minutes a week. So you don't have to come in here any more than 15 minutes a week, but you will, because it's almost like a game. Once you start playing it, you're going to see how much you're saving and you're going to want to play more. So your person is going to have all of this uploaded for you. You don't have to do any of it by yourself. We are going to teach the system how much you get paid, how often. We're going to teach it all about your mortgage and your loans, how those work. We're even going to tell it about your spending habits. That way, it knows how much you're spending on food and gas and subscriptions and all of these things. And you can track it. That way, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you can look back and you can see your spending habits, and it will help you see what you need to change in order to be even better with your money. The great thing about Money Max is we're not going to ask you to get on a budget. We're not going to ask you to eat tacos every night, nothing crazy like that. This works with your current spending habits. So you don't have to change anything. We're just going to start documenting, and we're going to teach you how to make payments correctly. Right now, you are doing what the bank wants you to do, which is make them a lot of money. So what you're doing is you're making those minimum payments, you're making them on time. You're probably even throwing some extra money at that payment every month. That's what they want you to do. With Money Max, what we're going to do is we're going to tell it only make the minimum payment every month and then make strategic payments on top of that. So you will see here with the Money Max that there are duplicate payments sometimes. Here's a MasterCard payment. This is for July. Here's another MasterCard payment also in July. This payment of $137, that's your minimum payment. You're going to continue to make those, even if they're set up to go automatically. That's awesome. What MoneyMax is going to do, though, is advise you on what to spend your extra money on. So, this family, they've been saving up. They didn't do anything this month, they saved up. So now they have enough money to make an extra payment towards that MasterCard on the 2nd, not the 3rd or the 4th, but the 2nd of July from the checking account to the MasterCard for exactly $1,567.31. When they do that, MoneyMax is going to tell us we are eliminating an additional $2,400 in interest we would have paid. So that's the trick, that's the mastermind behind MoneyMax, is it is going to help you make your payments in a more strategic manner in order to pay off debt extremely quickly. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen just so I can kind of explain a little bit on what I was saying. But that is the magic of the system. Just like a GPS on your car is going to advise you on when to turn left, when to turn right, it's going to tell you your estimated time of arrival. MoneyMax does the same thing. It's going to advise you on which days to pay certain bills for certain amounts in order to eliminate the interest that you're paying. If you haven't watched the videos, if you don't know how much you're wasting in interest right now, go back and watch those. Like Christy said, it doesn't matter if you're doing Money Max, if you are doing the velocity banking with a line of credit, we want you to stop donating your money to the bank because you are building someone else swimming pools while you are struggling just to buy groceries every month. So that in a nutshell is the Money Max. It is a step-by-step guide on how to make your payments, how to stay on track, but how to eliminate interest in the process and how to pay off in a third of the time, sometimes faster than any other system. So, Christy, do you have any questions for me? Anything that I skipped over?
No, just verifying that they know you do not have to have a line of credit to do this, and the Money Max always beats a line of credit
It
by
does.
2 years.
Well, and that's the great thing too, is the system is like Play-Doh. So if you were to get the system today, you can change it every single day for the rest of your life. It's a lifelong program. So if you don't have a line of credit now, but you want one in the future, we can work with that. We can, work the money max, get you in a position where you qualify for a line of credit, and then we can show you how to plug that into your money max to manipulate that to pay off even faster. You can, like, maybe you're considering a new car purchase. We can show you how to use the money max to pick out the car that's going to pay off faster than any other car, depending on interest rates. We can help you get into HELOCs. It really is a system that can do just about anything you need it to. Again, you can even use this for budgetary help. It's very, very helpful in tracking spending, but you don't even really have to do that to be successful with the program.
All right. If nobody has any questions for her, we'll let Emily go. Does anybody have any questions? I don't see anything. If you guys have questions, you can contact me directly. Let's use support at VANN. If you have questions about anything to do with what we talk about today, I don't care for you reaching out to me. I'm not sure if I can get to your emails quickly, but I certainly will try. But it's important that you know every option that you have available to you so that you can stop the insanity of what's going on. I'm sold on Money Max, haven't purchased it yet. So Emily, we are going to I will let you know if anybody has any questions about that or if anyone emails me, but I know you have things to do, I'm sure. I'm just sitting here playing with the people trying to help them understand what velocity banking is. Norlene does say that it's addictive. I go in almost every day.
It is. It's like a game, but instead of winning points, you're paying off debt. So,
Well, I think that's awesome. I know that you got out of debt using it. How long did it take you to get out of debt? Did you get completely out?
yeah, it was. I mean, I've told the story before, but I mean, it was a matter of we were at months instead of years, and
Wow.
it was beyond what we expected. And my husband and I are looking at houses right now. We're looking, and we're plugging that into the money max to see what we can do and how quickly we can pay it off.
That is awesome. Good. I'm so glad you found something that you absolutely love to use. People don't it's an automated form of velocity banking, but it's showing you exactly what to do, whereas we kind of play with the banks and figure it out on our own when we're doing the velocity way. So again, I appreciate you for coming on tonight. I'm sure I'll catch back up with you on another video because I think it's super important that people know about this option. And we'll kind of go from there. Alrighty. I hope you have a good night.
All right, thanks. Have fun,
Okay.
everyone.
Okay, so let's get back to talking about what your questions are with velocity and see. I got up and cleaned my board while she was on in case I want to use it again. PLOC, how to apply. Okay, so let me just be loud and clear about the PLOC. For you guys who don't know, the PLOC is a personal line of credit. Okay. The PLOC is unsecured. Okay. The HELOC is secured by the equity in your home. The PLOC is unsecured. Okay. So what that means is the PLOC is going to have a little higher interest rate. And not a lot of people are offering the PLOC anymore, I have noticed. I'm trying to think of a bank that I know that even has the PLOCs. I know some of you guys have them. I personally don't have a PLOC. I have the HELOC, and then I have credit cards that allow me to use them as a PLOC. I hope that makes sense. And I'll show you on the board that so that you, because I'm going to tell you, when I learned about being able to use the credit card as a line of credit, it completely blew my mind. I had no idea that you could do that. When I figured that out, that's when I really started hitting the debt so much harder. I just couldn't believe that that was even available. So everything that I show you on the channel, we're literally talking about experience of where I was trying to figure it out and I was playing with the bank. And I don't mean to say that disrespectfully, but I was playing with the bank. And I was trying to figure out, how does this tool work? What does this do when you do this? And so I made a lot of mistakes, but I've about got it down to a science. Because, you know, when you're suffering, you're going to figure something out. So back to the PLOC, if you want to ask your local banks, credit unions, hey, do you have a PLOC, personal line of credit? Every time they're going to say, you don't want a line of credit. That's a higher interest than a loan. You can get a loan. How many times in the room has you guys heard that from a bank? When you've been doing velocity banking for any amount of time, the first time that you went into a bank and you said, hello, I want to apply for a revolving line of credit, how many of you got the answer, oh no, you don't want a line of credit, that's higher interest, you need the loan? Can't tell you how many times. Citi offers it attached to your checking account. LaShonda, I did not know that. I did not know that Citi did that. Thank you so much for sharing. People need to know that. If you have a Citi card and you have a credit or a checking account with Citi, it sounds like that you can transfer the funds out of the credit card into the checking account. LaShonda, is that what you're saying? Suncoast is very good. I have heard good things about Suncoast Credit Union in Florida. I have heard about that. Very good. Let's see. Credit cards. If you're in New York, NYMCU offers a PLOC. Oh my gosh, I worked with a New Yorker yesterday. I'm going to write that down for me. NYMCU in New York offers a PLOC. I also, let's see, New York, where's my list? Citizens, I've heard is good to get a HELOC through, that they're pretty easy setup on getting a HELOC in New York City. So guys, if you're in New York, you're going to be able to get a PLOC now. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that. Do you mind sharing what your limit is on your PLOC in New York? See how we help each other? We help each other. That's what we're put on this earth to do, is help each other, figuring this stuff out. Christy, my husband and I were weighed down and feeling helpless. After prayer and being proactive, we found your videos. We are so hopeful and knocking out debt with a HELOC. Thank you. Praise the Lord. Kim Edge, thank you so much for sharing that. The people need to be encouraged. I appreciate you. And yes, thank the Lord, because if it wasn't for him giving me this wisdom, I wouldn't know to share it. So I thank you so much that you shared that. I am so happy for you and your husband. You don't, okay, so I've got a question. How do we qualify for a HELOC had my mortgage for only 1 year? It is not about how long you have had a HELOC. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm getting too excited here. It is not about how long you've had your mortgage. It's not about how long you've owned your home. It's about, do you have equity in the home? That's what it's about. If you have $20,000 or if you have 200,000, I worked with a lady the other day that had $800,000 of equity in her home that she could get a HELOC. So to qualify, you have to have equity in your home. Okay. The credit score usually needs to be about 700. Now, the reason I said usually, most of the time I say your credit score needs to be at 700 plus. I had a credit union CEO. He is in Ohio. They work with the whole state of Ohio, and they work with you based on your record, your credit history, not necessarily on your credit score. I am going to, Lord, please send me uh, the CEOs of the credit unions, of banks, and let them, have their mind open to working with the American people in getting us the lines of credit that we need, even if we have a 640 credit score. Now, I understand a bank that doesn't want to work with somebody that has a 640 or below. It's pretty easy to get your score up to 640. I think that, they need to be looking at our history. Have we made our payments on time? And have we done that for over 3 years? I mean, I get, if you heard me today when I was on the live stream earlier, I was telling you that I had messed up a credit card. It's probably been, gosh, 15 years ago now. But I missed a payment of $25 due to I moved from one state to another. And I had the credit card payment automatically coming out of the credit union there. Well, I shut down the credit union, moved out of state, and completely forgot about that $25 per month. I ended up getting in the physical mail at my home in the new state. Uh, this credit card company had written me and they said, "You are late on your payments." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what?" And I looked it up immediately. I saw that the $25 that they were taking out per month up there turned into about 200 because they were charging me fees on that because I had missed the payments for 90 days. Well, you get like, what is it, a $32 charge? So if I owed 25 and they charged me 32 for one late, 32 for the next late, 32 for the next. And let's don't forget the 29% interest that they were charging on top of the late charges, right? So again, I know it was much higher. Just the charges alone is showing me 121. Isn't that the way it happens? You go over your limit, they charge you. You're late, they charge you, and that's 1 day late, right? Um, yeah, but I was 90 days late. So they left that on my credit report. And I hear 7 years, they're supposed to, things are supposed to fall off of your credit report. I'm pretty sure that stayed on for 8 or more, and it kept my score down to 640. So I was doing everything that I teach about the credit cards, about using the credit cards as a PLOC. I was doing that with my 640 credit score. Okay. I have been as low as 598 on the credit score. But, revolving those credit cards, like I talk about, making a payment every week instead of once a month. If you owe $100, make $25 a week. Little bitty baby tricks that I had no idea about. I just started playing with it and figuring it out. So where was I going with that? Oh, credit cards. Be careful with them. They're wonderful to use. I had no idea that City would, it says City line of credit attached to the personal checking only offered 6,000. So I went to a neighborhood federal union in Texas, and Federal Credit Union, I'm sorry, in Texas, and got 15,000. So that's what my lines, my credit card lines that I can use as cash. That's what they both went to, was 15,000. It took me a minute to get there now, because when I first started, I couldn't even get approved, right? Because I had a low credit score. And that's what I was getting at, is this credit union in Ohio, they will actually look at your history, not your score. I love that. That's the way we should be respectfully looked at when it comes to allowing us to get a HELOC or not. If you have equity in your home and all you need is just some of that money. I have a business right now. California. Can anybody name a credit union that they can use in California? I think PNC. I don't know if they do personal lines or not. You're welcome, Lords. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I had a senior moment. Where did that go? What was I talking about? We were talking about the credit unions in Ohio, looking at your credit report. I was going somewhere. I'll come back. Yes, Suncoast in Florida. That's awesome. Didn't know that about City. That's awesome. Robin says, my credit score is high and I've been making double payments since I bought this house June 30th, 2025. How much equity do I have in this house? How do I find out what my equity is? So you could go on Zillow.com. Is that the website? Where did I put .com? I don't know. Zillow. You can put in your address and they'll kind of give you a guesstimate of what the value of your home is. Very well could be close. Could be not so close if you've done any kind of remodeling on the property. But that'll kind of give you an idea of, like, for example, if you go in and look and you have a value showing at 350,000 and you owe 300,000, then that 50 is what is the equity, 50,000. When we're paying the mortgage every month, you're buying back your equity with a payment, but you only get to buy back as much as is being applied to your principal. So some of you guys who have over 6% interest, and I mean, that's ridiculous. You may see that you only have $200 going to your principal. So if you borrowed, for example, $500,000, it takes a while to pay it off, doesn't it? When you only have 200 of your $3,000 payment actually going to the balance of that loan, 500,000. It takes a while. Well, why do you think they drag it out over 30 years? Do you think that they're doing that because, oh, we want to help you? When you see your amortization schedule, you're going to see that maybe that low payment for 30 years isn't necessarily to help you have a low payment. I mean, something to think about. Think about what you're doing. Amortization schedules are all over the internet. I use Brett Whistle. If you want to know what your interest is that you're paying, you can look at your statement. If you're currently making a mortgage payment, you can look at your statement and they'll tell you how much of your payment actually went to interest. If you don't have a mortgage yet and you want to know what that will look like, then you can put in the numbers, the loan amount, the percent that they're going to give you an interest rate, and it will show you everything you need to know. Okay. Does it matter if it's secured or unsecured? No, doesn't matter, as long as it's a revolving line of credit. My personal line of credit is not a credit card. It is a revolving line of credit. Okay. PLOC. I would always get this confused when I first started watching the videos. So they are different. And you know what? I'm going to jump over to the board if this will let me switch. Today, Bob. Oh, Travis Credit Union in California. Thank you, Margaret. Okay. So a revolving line of credit. Let's just talk about what that looks like when you're using a credit card as a revolving line of credit. All right, so here's your checking account. And here is your credit card. Now, they're with the same bank, okay? Bank or credit union, doesn't matter. You have your checking account. Even if you look this up on your app online, you'll see there's a checking and there'll be a credit card. And of course, you got to have the savings account, okay? Now, if they link these, which a lot of banks do allow you to take money from the credit card and transfer it into the checking account. So if you have a $5,000 limit and you need 1,000, then you can take 1,000 and then there will be $1,000 transferred into your checking account. This was such a I say that, game changer, because wow, guys, you all don't know what kind of horrible shape I was in with my money. If I can do this, you can do this, because it ends up being super, super simple. And I started with credit cards, but when I learned about this new, which I had learned at first, it's a big bank, not going to say the name. I had a credit card with them. I think it was $1,000 limit. And I did transfer money from that credit card into my checking. So like with Citi, they will allow you to do that sometimes. But every time I would do a transfer, I got a fee. And I was like, I'm going to use that for a minute, but I'm going to be looking for another bank because I didn't want to pay, $10 or whatever it was I was having to pay every time I did a transfer. So I found a credit union, got set up with them, applied for their credit card, and I think they gave me $2,000 or $2,500, which was wonderful. I'd never had a credit card that high before. But what I started doing was when I would take these transfers, and they're the ones that told me I had the link with the credit card. I did not know that. I didn't know that they would automatically even do those transfers over. So the lady at the bank told me the credit card will pick up anything that comes into the checking that you don't have the money for, meaning that if I have $50 sitting in checking, which I don't, but if I had $50 sitting and then I had a credit card payment for $100 come in, well, naturally, this would be returned back to the bank it came from because I don't have enough money in here to cover $100. But since I have this linked, it brings over the additional money I need. So $50 would come out of this account and be in my checking to where now I had $100. They covered this, so this was taken care of. And now after this 100 is paid out, I'm to a zero balance on my checking account. Some of you guys may not understand that you can do this. I had no idea that you could do this with a credit card that is with the same bank that you have your checking account. Okay. So you're not going to go to like Capital One, get a credit card, and then have a checking account at Truist and think you're going to transfer the funds from that credit card over into your Truist checking account. That's not the way it works. My experience has been it has to be in the same bank that you have your checking account. Okay. I hope that makes super, super good sense. I'm going to switch it back over here now. And we'll see if you have any questions about that. Hi, Christy Stacy from Florida. Hello, hello. I hope that you're having a great Saturday. Oh, it eats me up that if I were to pay on this place for 30 years that they would get 250,000 in interest out of me. I'm getting it paid off as soon as possible, ASAP. It blew my mind when I learned that. Blew my mind. California has so many credit unions. Yeah, but I think they were looking for one that had a PLOC. Christy, I responded above to try and explain. Oh, I'm sorry, Maureen. Let me go up here. How high up is up? Maureen, I'm missing it. I don't even know what you were explaining. I've forgotten. I'm so sorry. Avon. Let's talk about Avon for a minute because I get a lot of questions about Avon. I think that's the way you say it, AVEN. It is a HELOC on a credit card. Now, that's not appealing to me. I don't like any HELOC that's outside of my credit union or my bank I'm using. Why? Because I want to be able to make those transfers in a minute. I don't want to have to wait 3 days for the money to come from the HELOC to my checking or from my payment to take 3 days to get to the HELOC. Now, Avon, I've had a couple of clients. They really thought Avon was great. I have nothing against them. I'm just saying that for me, I don't have the desire to have a HELOC outside of the same bank that I have my credit or my checking account with. Okay. Now back to Avon. I have heard that they do good with people that have a lower credit score. It is on a credit card, so it's kind of a glorified credit card that uses your equity. Okay. I really don't know the approval process on that. I know that I get stuff in the mail from them all the time. Oh, guys, we get checks in the mail too, don't we? I got another one. I'm rich. They sent me a check in the mail. How many of you guys get those high interest checks in the mail? Oh man, I can't share this one because I haven't marked its name off yet. And they'll be trying to sue me if I'm talking about them. We wouldn't want to hurt their feelings. Okay. But when the check comes in the mail and it says, this is a loan and letters about this big across the front, because it is an actual check. And if you cash it, guess what? You are the proud winner of about, I don't know, 4 years of interest. Yay! No, what? No, please think before you accept one of the checks in the mail. Okay, so let's talk about what this one says. I wish I could show it to you, but again, I don't want to make anybody sad. Okay, this is for $10,004.94. Like I said, I am rich. I am rich. We are going to talk about what this looks like here for a second. Let me see if I can, because I want to make sure that you all know what is happening. My information off of here too. Make sure we knock all of that off because we don't want to make anybody sad. And I'll mark my address off here so you guys won't hunt me down. And okay, is that it? Is that it? Okay, so if it says anything, I guess I'm going to hell because I've tried to get all of the information out, but here we go. All right, so I get these in the mail all the time, and you probably do too. Wow, I better take that off because that actually tells the bank's name. But gosh, they'll send me to hell if I put their information out there and talk about them. We wouldn't want to talk about them. No. Okay, so here it is. I made sure to knock all of the information off, but that's what they look like. And here at the bottom, it says this is a loan. Okay. Now, $10,004. That's or 94 cents. That's going to be what I put into my checking account if I'm going to accept this offer. So if you get these, turn it around on the back and it will tell you this is a loan in capital letters again. And it says the truth in lending disclosure. Thank the good Lord they made them start putting this back into these documents so that you can read what is actually going on. Okay. All right, here we go. The amount financed is $10,004.94. Everybody, are you sitting down? Please say you're sitting down because I don't want anybody to fall and hit their head. Okay? When I say what I'm about to say that this document says. So to pay back $10,004.94, I will make 42 payments. That's less than 4 years. Oh, they're so sweet. They're so sweet. They're giving me all this money and I'm going to be able to pay it back in less than 4 years. How precious is that? How precious? The payments are only $407. Wow, I'm going to get $10,000 and I'm only going to pay $407 a month. That is awesome. Great deal. Wow, right? No. So let's take 42 times $407 payments. I borrowed $10,004. What am I going to be paying back? $17,094. Okay. What the heck? That's over $7,000 in interest charges. I only borrowed 10. I only borrowed 10. I'm going to pay back 7,000 plus in interest only, making $17,000 is what I'm going to be paying back. Does everybody hear me out there? So let's take 7,094. So what it is, 7,094. No, 77,089. Let's divide that by the amount financed, $10,004. Looks like that may be a little bit higher than 12%. It looks like that, it looks like that may be a little higher. Like 33%. 33.41%. I mean, do the math. It's, yeah, that's, now that I know what all of this means, that is just angering that people, they literally, oh, velocity banking's a scam. Oh, it's a scam. It's too good to be true. You can't do magic with money. It's a scam. Okay, but yet I'm not going to be doing velocity banking. I'm not going to be paying $7,000 in interest on a $10,000 loan. I'm not. I might. Let's say I pay $3,000. I won't, but let's say I paid $3,000 for $10,000. What am I getting? I can pay off another credit card or something with $4,000 that I'm going to be paying to this loan. And they think they're doing me a favor by sending me a check in the mail. That is so bad. That's so bad. Because people need money. And heck, I'll hand you $10,000 if you pay me back $17,000 in 42 months. Who wouldn't do that? You're never going to get that out of a stock market if you put your money into that. This is a great return on your money if you can put in 10,000 and make 7,000 in 42 months. Great. Now we're going to talk about, I'm going to run back over to the board. I'm sorry I'm going back and forth, but I want to give you some real examples in velocity banking. And now that we know this loan is going to take 42 months to pay off, let's just see what it'll take to pay off 10,000 using velocity banking. Y'all want to do that? You want to do that? This is so awesome, Christy. I am so glad God crossed my path with you. I am so excited too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate you. New York is a municipal credit union. I used to bank with them. Okay, good. I don't see anything that I have to answer right now, so I'm going to go do this, okay? There's a lot, so we'll get to that. I'm going to switch back over here because we got to talk about $10,000. Come on, board. Okay, why does that look on my face? Can you all see the board? What's happening? I am not technically inclined. You all know this? You all know this, so don't judge me. All right, so we're back on the board. And we're going to talk about the $10,000 that they said was going to take me 42 months to pay off and cost me $7,000 in interest. Okay, so we have that example, the 10,000 going to cost me $7,089 in interest charges. This is 42 months. Okay. Remember it was $407 in monthly payments. All right. So now we have a choice. You have a choice. You can take this loan, and let me write loan. Okay. And now Christy wants to use a line. So if they're going to pay $7,000 in interest, how much is Christy going to pay using a revolving line of credit? All right, so let's say we take the $10,004. We won't use the change. And I have a credit card in my bank. Okay. And here's my checking. And here's my credit card. And I have 10,000 here that I'm going to transfer over into my checking because I need $10,004. We'll act like we did 4 on there. All right. So now the money's in my account. And let's say that I'm going to take that $10,000 and I'm going to pay off I don't know, let's say I'm going to pay off a credit card that has a $10,000 balance. Okay. So I'm taking 10,000 out of this credit card, putting it into my checking. Now I'm paying off 10,000 on another credit card that's at, let's say it's at 25% interest. Okay. So with this credit card, let's say the payment is probably close to $600 a month because they're expensive. Okay, so I've paid off this credit card. I've gained $600 in cash flow per month because I'm using this money. And so let's just see what it looks like, because I'm going to say that I make $5,000 a month income. I'm going to say I have 4,500 at least coming out in monthly expenses, which means I have about a $500 cash flow. Okay, so now my checking account is at 0 because I took all of this money and I put it on this credit card to pay it off. So now this account has a $10,000 balance, 10,004 if you want to get technical. I'm not even worried about the numbers. So I get paid, and say I get paid twice a month. So 2,500 biweekly, right? It comes into my checking account. Now I take and transfer it into this account that has a $10,000 balance. What happened to my $10,000 balance when I transferred my income over there? It reduced, didn't it? It went down. So now I owe 7,500. Okay. This is a credit card, remember? So I want to go eat and buy gas tonight. So I'm going to pay probably how expensive everything is. I'm going to pay $70 to eat out, say me and my husband. So this is food. And say I get $50 in gas. This balance is going back up again, right? So here I am, and I have to pay expenses now. I've got other bills. I've got electric bills. I've got phone bills. I've got so much that I have to pay. But we're kind of just going to do a little bit of math here. And let's say that this credit card's at 12% with my bank. Nope. Let's say 15% because the credit unions or maybe a little higher. I don't care if it's 20%, but let's just do the math. So we've got 7,500. We're going to say that we've had, including the food and the gas, throughout the 2 weeks, because I don't get paid again for 2 weeks according to this scenario. So let's say I spent $1,500 out of this credit card, and I'm back up to 9,000. All right. I get paid again in 2 weeks. So 2,500 comes in again. I'm going to transfer it over. Okay. Now let's say that I had, let's see, we have 4,500 in monthly expenses. Let's say that 3,000, 9,500. Okay, let's look at the interest, because remember, the interest is charged on the average daily balance. Okay, so it was 10,000 one day. My income goes in, it may be 7,500 the next day. I have charges coming out throughout the whole month. So, you know, all these expenses don't hit just at one time. You charge a little bit of here, you pay your house payment, you charge your gas. So it's slowly building back up. You're continually hitting it every time you get paid. It's dumping the balance. So they'll average it between your high, your medium, your low, average. Then that's what they'll charge the interest on. But if they charged it on 10,000, let's see what that looks like. 10,000 times 15%. That'd be $125. Okay, so that's $125 in interest. I hope y'all can see this. Is it too low? I don't know. So that means I would be at 96.25. Okay, so revolving income going into the account, expenses coming out as you need it. All right, so it looks like 96.25, my ending balance. $96.25, okay. And that means that I have, after this interest clears even, I have a $375 cash flow, okay, after my first month. Now, this is coming down, in other words, $375 per month on the high interest of 15% on 10,000. You're not going to pay $125 in interest in reality, because they're averaging between your high, your low. So if you're, again, this month, or I'm sorry, this day, 10,000 would be calculated at 15%. Tomorrow, 7,500 would be calculated at 15%. So they're averaging it, right, across the whole month. That's why we pay a whole lot less interest than you will on a lot of loans, and of course your higher interest credit cards. These are revolving lines. So just doing this math on the high interest, 10,000. So I started with $10,004, if you want to say that. After paying the high interest, I have $375 in cash flow. How long is it going to take me to pay off $10,000? $10,000 divided by 375 equals what? You got your calculators out? Well, mine says 26.66, which means 27 months. 27 months. What was this one? 42 months for the same amount of money? Hold on. That's not the really good part. Yeah, we're down to 27 months. What about this interest right here? Remember, this is the high, 15% on 10,000. the high interest that you would pay. You're not going to pay this, but let's say you did, and you paid $125 for 27 months. Well, let's just see. So 125 times 27, $3,375 would be the high interest on this account. And it's really going to be more like 1,600. Wait a minute, but wasn't 7,000 interest a good deal? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. What'd you learn? Does this look like a scam? Does this look like a scam? Or does this look like a scam? I use a LIEN. I still have my money available as this account comes down. It's still there for me to use if I have an emergency and I need money. After you put $407 in this every month, can you just pull it back out and use it again if you need to? Shake your head like this. No. The highest interest I could possibly pay on this account would be $3,375 compared to the 7,000, almost 7,100 that they want to charge me over here. So I'm asking you, which one looks like a scam? Which one looks like a scam? I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I mean, oh my gosh, what happened to the knife? See, I told you I wasn't the smartest knife in the drawer. But I've got sense enough to know that I'm going to keep doing velocity banking. Because I'm sorry, it's common sense. It's common sense. That it has nothing to do with you not making enough money. I don't care what you make. You are making plenty of money to get out of debt. It's about learning how the tools at the bank work. Okay? So I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to see that every single one of us that have used a loan in the past have played the fool, and we didn't even know it. I had no idea, did you? I had no idea, but we know now. You need to get serious about your money. You need to know your numbers. You need to know what you bring in and what you spend, so that the next time these crazy things that come in the mail, wait, where is it? I lost it. It says this is a loan. You can say, no, thank you. I'll just go to my credit card and I'll pull it over in my checking if I need it. But thanks anyway. It's tempting, isn't it? I mean, it's tempting. When I even see them, I'm like, wow. And the first thought that comes to my mind when I see a check in the mail is, do I need that? Do I need that? Should I keep that? Do I need that? Isn't that amazing? I've been doing this for, I guess, 18 years now. And I see a check in the mail, and that's the first thing I think, do I need that? Sounds like a stronghold, doesn't it? It sounds like training as to what you think first when you see extra money sitting around. Think about what you're doing. Look at everything as a scam. because most things are, and make good decisions, because you can get out of debt if you're making the right choices on what tool you're going to use. Okay, so let's go on down here and see Golden One Credit Union. Maybe that's in California. Chevron Credit Union. Let's see here. Travis Credit Union. These are in California. Doesn't matter if it's secured or unsecured. Bought it new at 248,000, made some improvements. It's already gone up in value. The area is growing quickly. Then Robin, I'd say you are fine with your equity. FYI, Suncoast, which is in Florida, also allows you to link your checking to your PLOC. Awesome. You can do overdraft protection. Awesome. And also transfer directly to your checking account for 0 fees. Thank you for that, Goodrich. That is exactly the way my credit union works. Okay. Let's see. Let us see you happy dance, Christy. I love how excited you get about this stuff for us. I'm just excited for myself. I mean, I'm tickled to death to be able to help, people, not just here in the US, but all over the world. But I mean, I'm tickled for myself. I'm free. And I absolutely love it. And I would love nothing more than to see you all get free. Every one of you sitting here watching right now, every one of you going to be watching in the future. I would love for you to get free. I would love for you to watch videos, look at different ones so that you can find a scenario close to yours, your actual numbers, and break free. Oh my gosh, where is Queen when we need him? I want to break free. Oh my gosh, that needs to be my theme song. I want to break free. Okay, guys, you can sing with me. You don't have to laugh at me. You can sing with me. Okay. Hi, April. Hello, hello. No, NFCU is not nope. They 30% of the credit limit. Yes, that's right. But you can't revolve it like I was showing you on the board. You can take 30% of your limit, and I don't know if that's once a year or ever so often. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, it's not like revolving as far as where you can put all of your income in, and then draw 30% out or something like that. Yeah. Be careful that you understand how your bank works before you start using anything. I am amazed every time I see this. Me too, me too. Can you believe that? Can you believe that we took the same amount of loan money, $10,000? We just used 2 different tools that the bank offers. And the one that I choose to use, which is the revolving line, took a 42-month payoff period down to about 27 months and saved us almost, what, 4,000? That would be at least 5,000 saved interest just doing that. Just doing that. Okay, I'm going to run around the room in excitement because why wouldn't you want to save yourself $4,000 or $5,000 over the next 42 months? Who wouldn't want to do that? But yet, the scam is velocity banking. Is that not laughable? Is that not something that we could just start? What a joke. that they flip that in our minds and they say, don't listen to Christy VANN. She's teaching a scam over there. Well, I just showed you on the board. It's math. It has nothing to do with a scam. It's math. If you can do basic math, then you can compare the loan to the line and you can figure out for yourself and stop letting people tell you what to do. Stop letting your representative at the bank push you around by telling you what you're going to get, and go find a bank that will serve you. When you walk into that bank and they say, oh, you don't want a line of credit, you want a loan, it has a lower interest rate, just start laughing like I just did, because they don't know. They don't understand either. So don't be mad at them. Just say, no, I'm going to get the line of credit. Yeah, I know the interest rate looks like it's 15% compared to your baby, 8% loan. I know it. Yeah, I know it's higher, but I'll take it. They're going to be like, well, okay, but you're just stupid because you're getting a higher interest rate, and you could get this low interest rate, and you could get this low monthly payment. But no, you're going to go with a 15% credit card. Well, okay. And you can be like, thank you. God bless you. Have a great day. And then run out of there excited, because you just got money in the bank when you got your line of credit. And you can now start working on getting rid of those loans that are killing you and your paycheck every single month. Something you have to think about every day. And what a shame that we are wasting time thinking about debt when we have kids growing up right in our sight. But we can't focus on the children because some guru out there told us you need to get a second job. You don't have a right to sit at home. You don't have a right to have a vacation. Sounds not good to me. I think you have a right to watch your kids grow up. I think that you have a right not to have to go deliver pizzas at night. Go Uber as soon as you get off your day job. I think you have a right to be a human being. I think you have a right. I think you have a right to know how the bank works and use it correctly, so that that one job that you do have is going to serve you well. And the only time you work an extra job is because you just love to work and it's like a hobby to you. And your kids are grown and you just sit around the house watching YouTube videos if you are home. Yeah, go get you a job. Go get you a hobby. Go bowling. Go do something. But not because you're being punished because you got into debt. That's exactly where they wanted you. You're right where they put you. You're doing exactly what you were taught to do from the time you were a little kid. Debt, loans. Congratulations. You're like the rest of us. But once you learn how to use the bank, you are never going to think about a second job again. You're going to think about going on your next vacation. Isn't that exciting? That's why I get excited. I was never, able to take my children on a vacation. Never. I always worked 2 and 3 jobs. Being a single mom, of course. If you have a husband or if you have a wife, whatever, that won't work, and you're the one that's having to pick up the load, sure, you're going to have a second and third job until you learn how to use your money. I was never able to take my kids on a vacation. Are you all hearing me? Are you hearing me? Do you know how painful that is as a mom? Or maybe you're a dad? Maybe you're a grandma raising kids and you can't afford to let them go to a movie because you don't have $25. I never took my kids on a real vacation until they were 14 and 17. Pretty sad, isn't it? You have to wait until your kids are teenagers and you've been through hell with debt. And the good Lord just blesses you with wisdom all of a sudden. And you're out. You're free. Vacations are not a problem now. Probably take 2 or 3 a year now. Just because I was never taught how to use a bank. That's the only difference. The only difference. So when I took my children to New York City for the first time, they were 14 and 17. First vacation I ever had with them. And I made it big. I made it big. I took my credit card and we did everything we wanted to do. We were on the road. We went to Hershey, Pennsylvania from New York City. We went on up to Niagara Falls. I had never done anything like that before in my life. And I got to do it with my kids. And I know there are some of you, I hear from you. I know. You have never taken a vacation in your married life because you've been broke. I know. I hear the stories. I don't care that YouTube shows, whatever it shows for views. I hear from you. I know you're watching. I know you are me. And I'm excited to see you happy dance and to see you get excited about going to work again and spending time, quality time with your children, your spouse, whoever it is, your mother, whoever you like to hang with. But that first vacation that we had to New York City, it was just me and my girls. And we drove a lot. We watched, I believe we watched 3 or 4 Broadway shows. We ate anywhere we wanted to eat. Single mom. Probably cost us, that's been years ago now. So that's probably been, wow, 13 years ago? Wow, time flies. 13 years ago, and I was able to spend about $3,700 on a vacation, single parent, one income. It was amazing. I've been back twice since then. The next year we went to Orlando. I'd never been there before that time. I had never been to one of the parks. I didn't even know what Universal was. I didn't know what SeaWorld was. So the year we went to New York City, we planned the next vacation. And that next July, it was for my birthday. Well, it was for them. But my birthday present to them was I took them to Universal. And we did everything we wanted to do. We stayed in a very nice hotel. We probably spent another 3,700. That is time I will never get back. Those were moments that I'll be forever grateful that I got to do with just me and my girls. Mom got to take them on 2 very big, nice vacations. And they will remember that their whole lives. I will remember that till I die and be forever grateful that the Lord put me in a position, even though remember that time back there when I started Velocity Banking, I was making $500 a week. When we went on the New York vacation, the first one, I probably was making I want to say 1,600 every 2 weeks. Something like that. So let's say I was making 4,000 a month approximately. And I could take my children on these vacations. And we did one every year from the time till they got married and moved out. So now it's me and my husband. And, we're going to plan another girls' trip. How exciting is that? How exciting is that? Yeah, they were grown and older when I got to start doing this stuff with them, but at least I got to do it before they moved out. And that's what you want, I'm sure. You just want to be able to use your money and be happy and to have something to show for all of the hours that you've put in. That's only fair. You're out killing yourself at a job you may hate. You want something to show for it. And sure, you can't see a vacation except for the pictures, but at least you got to spend some quality time watching your kids be excited, watching your spouse be excited. It's something they've maybe never done before. That's an exciting life right there, dude. If it had ended right there, I would say I'm fulfilled. I got to do that with my kids. It's exciting. Okay, let's go on down here. Uh-oh, somebody lost something. Where is it? Somebody said sorry about your loss. What did we forget? Oh, look at me, debt-free, beans and rice not included. I love it. I love it. I didn't want to go that far, but thank you. What's with this beans and bag? Oh my gosh. So thankful that you've never heard of the beans and rice. Maybe you're not brainwashed. Thank you. That is so exciting. Oh my gosh. Can't pay every week because of paying for space. Payment one time and car payment 15 days later, once credit cards are paid off, I'll fire at my car loan to be determined. Okay. My circumstances won't work. Self-employed DTI is a little high and business profit and loss is not good. Even my credit is super high, equity high. Okay. Brian, first I want you to lose the negative thinking that's going on in your head right now. I want you to get excited because there are absolutely places that help the self-employed. They can work some of that debt into your high equity that you say you have available. You have a great credit score. There is help. Okay. Homebridge.com works with people that are self-employed. If you have a high equity, give them a try. They give a pre-approval without running your credit. I have had some people really work. I actually, if you want to email me, I have something that may work better than that. So if you want to email me, Brian, I will get you over to a lender that may be able to help you more than you ever thought was possible. Okay? support@vannfs.com. Okay. We got Brian up and excited. So let's see. Your course gave me confidence to walk in and ask for the line of credit because it armed me with the right questions to ask. And yes, they offered me the loan first. I knew it, Lashonda. I can put let me put the link to the course. I never mentioned that, and I'm going to mention it right now because I feel like that people do need to know that. And do I know the link to the course? Let me see. Do I know the link? Yes, I do. No, I don't. You know, I really ought to know what I offer and I ought to know what all of these links are, but I'm not here to sell stuff, so I really never think about getting links. My books are on Amazon if you want to check those out. I just never think to offer what. Okay, here's the online course if y'all want to check that out. It is $3.99, but if you use VANN 100, I think you get $100 off for a discount. Is that it? Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So that's in the chat. If you want to check that out, I'll also have it in the description of the video, under the video. Thank you for mentioning that, Lashonda. I heard somebody else tell me, they sent me an email the other day and they said that the course had talked about things that they had never heard before. So it goes through the whole thing, basic velocity. We even talk about the infinite banking in the course. I talk about the poverty penalty in the course, the amortization schedule, how to use a line of credit, the money max. So all kinds of information in that course if you're interested in that. Check it out. It is now in the chat. Just want to consolidate to make it easier. Brian, you can. You hang on. You hang on. You have got this. Maureen, I wish we wouldn't say names in the chat, but yes, that method is to deny any fund to only pay debts with no freedom until you finish paying the debts and eat beans and rice in the process. Yes. Yes, I'm going on a short vacation to Pendleton, Oregon for a poker tournament. You go. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a fun. Taking 2 of our kids on vacation, a real one, something to look forward to. I wish my husband was alive to do this with him. Well, okay. Okay, I was happy, and that's pretty sad. Okay, I'm sorry about your loss. Very glad you get to go on vacation with your kids. I wish that he was here for you to do that too. Bless you. Bless you. I hope you all have the best time on your vacations. Yes, your kids will never forget that. So you go, Robin. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy for you. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank the Lord. Married 20 years and never had a vacation together. Brian, that ends. That ends today. You're going to get everything in order and you're going to get on that vacation. Okay. I want you to promise me that you're going to have the vacation before October because you're going to get all of this in order. You're going to have plenty of money to take that vacation. I remember the first time I decided to go to New York City because I was a little nervous. You know, you hear all this stuff that's going on in New York City, and then you get there and you think, wow, this is the most awesome place. There was so much fun. I love going to New York. I just went there again last August. I had the time of my life. I absolutely love the horn blowing and all of the stuff to look at, and it feels like you can walk and walk and walk until you're going to die, but that's okay because it's a lot of fun. But I remember thinking to myself when, you know, I knew I had my finances in order and we could go on a vacation. I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to go to New York City. That's kind of scary up there. And I was sitting at my desk. I tell you guys about the vision boards that I use still. And I had a picture of New York City on my computer because my middle daughter always wanted to go to New York City. And I'm like, I'm not going to New York City. You know, I've heard that place is dangerous and, you know, all this stuff. I'm not going up there. And I ended up putting a picture of New York City on my computer, and I was working night shift, and I would look at that, you know, every night I would come in, that picture would pop up, and just one day, literally out of the blue, I said, I'm taking my kids on vacation and we're going to New York City. And listen, if you could have heard the scream that my middle daughter did when I told her we're going to New York City. She could not believe it. She literally thought that I was joking with her. And I said, nope, we're going to go because you know what? I'm not going to keep putting off doing stuff because one, they were growing up so fast, and two, I may not be always able to go on vacation and do these things. So I said, we're going to go. And listen, that was so exciting. So exciting. Can't wait till you all give me the same reports about what you got to do. Crystal clear water and white sand. That's where I wanted to go on my vacation. I did go to Clearwater, Florida. They had pretty clear water there. I've heard, oh my gosh, I have a client in Alabama. Victoria, are you on here? She lives on like the Alabama coast, I guess, and she says it's absolutely beautiful there. Clearwater, though, I think, besides like going to the Bahamas, and it wasn't as clear as Clearwater, I don't recall anyway. But yeah, no, you got to go do it. You got to go do it. Married to business. I know what you mean, Brian. I can sit down here and work 24 hours a day. I choose not to. I did for the first 2 years. And yeah, I decided I need to put myself on a schedule. So I don't sit down here as much as I used to. I'm self-employed. There's another one self-employed, got good credit. They gave me a HELOC very easily. Startup cost less than $200. Good for you and congratulations. Yes, two-edged sword. I must have missed something. My old lady dogs are demanding they be fed. Gotta go. This has been super encouraging, you guys. I hope I can join the next live. Thank you for all you do for so many, Christy. Thank you, Robin. It has been a pleasure talking with you. I hope you got to hear what I said before you left. Summer Poker Roundup. Oh my gosh, my dad was a big poker player. Yeah, he really loved it. Thank you for spending this time with us. You're a blessing to so many people. Thank you so much, Goodrich, for joining us. Coldest winter ever there in New York, but normal summer. Yeah, so I went at the end of August. I think every time I've been there, it's been in August, and the weather is always so beautiful. So beautiful. Love it. I'm biased. I love my California beaches. Okay. I haven't been to California yet, April. I haven't been there. I would like to. San Diego, you said Laguana, I guess how you say Laguna. I don't know how to say that. And Sunset Cliffs in South Dakota, SD. No, San Diego. Okay, sorry. I'm like totally uneducated on this stuff. Okay. Thank you for the live. You're very welcome, new kid. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. You know what? If you missed this live stream when it comes out as processed or whatever YouTube does, then go back and watch from the beginning because I really tried to throw a lot of information in here. The Bay Area, all right. Guna, okay. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I don't even know where that is on the map. I do know where California is, but I don't know where you're talking about. But yeah, that sounds exciting. And no, don't expect me in California anytime soon. I have decided that it's going to be a long time before I fly again. So if I go to California, it's going to be because I drove. Okay. My daughter is flying back from New York City right now as we speak. She's been there, let's see, I took them twice and she's probably been there 6 or 7 times. She's 28 now. So she loves New York City, so she goes there quite a bit. She likes Las Vegas just as much though. I haven't checked out Las Vegas yet, but you know what? I'm about ready for another road trip. I just got back from Fort Worth. Actually drove all the way there and back and really enjoyed it. Call me crazy. There was no stress with flying. I had a great time in Fort Worth, and the drive there and back was not that bad. I mean, not compared to the stress I feel with a flight. So I enjoyed myself very, very much. Destin, Florida is white sand and beautiful water. Ooh, that does sound nice. She was saying Laguna Beach. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Not good. Not good with that. I can't thank you enough. Have a great night. This has been great. Thank you, LaShonda, for joining us. You're welcome to schedule a call. You do not have to work with me. You do not have to get the online course. You do not have to buy a book. By the way, this was my first book. A lot of you bought the book. I appreciate your support. That was my first book. It is thicker. It's got a lot of information in that one. And then I wrote these 3. They won't teach you this in school. Black Shouts, Faith Shouts Louder, and Faith That Works. So all of these came out this summer, and I just had to. I don't know. I just woke up. I woke up one morning and this was all over my mind, Black Shouts. So I had to get this one out fast. I just do a lot of study on faith. So if you're spiritually based, you want to know, I didn't know what faith was. So I went into about a 15-year study on faith too, and I study it every single day. It's impossible to please him without faith. So I wanted to know, what's faith? What is that? So I started studying, and it's been a great study, and I still study it. Yeah, it's just been a game changer. Driving is better than flying to, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could bring all the luggage I wanted. I didn't have to worry about bringing small bottles of shampoo, hairspray, whatever. I really enjoyed that. I did. Yes, 4 books. Loved it. I've got three more in the works. I'm working on a prayer journal that I'm going to be putting out soon. I'm working on a workbook for velocity banking. I got to get that out. And Alex Alberin and I are working on a book that we want to have done by the end of September. And then, my life book talking about how all of this has worked through my life. So I do have 4 books. Okay. All right. I'm excited about it. I'm excited that you all joined me tonight. I'm going to let you go enjoy your Saturday night. I know that it is after 9 Eastern time, but you are a blessing. Thank you so much, Georgia. Oh, I hope I said your name, Georgia. I don't know. I just hope I said that right. It sounds like it might be a coastal area too. I appreciate you guys. You know what? Stay encouraged. Keep watching videos, get excited about your life again. And you know what? It's all going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I know it is. And I'm praying for you. Um, I literally just ask the Lord to bless you all every single day of your lives, and that everything will come easy to you. You'll be able to get the lines, you'll be able to do what you need to do, and that the blessing of the Lord will be on you, your children, your family, your whole life. Okay? Bless you guys. I will see you in the next video.